So the next thing we'll get into here. Okay, so this is one that is a 6-week homework for you all. I'm only going to give you the first week. And if you actually do it, then after this session today, I will just have weekly sessions. And this deals with, okay, it deals with how your mind shapes reality. Okay, this is one of the things I wrote up. I created a whole lesson plan around this and everything. Okay, and so you all will get access to this. This is something that the school website that I'm working on, this is one of the curriculums on the school website to help us, because a lot of people, their mind is in a way where it's you could say almost disturbed. I don't want to say they're disturbed, but it's almost disturbed. And just knowing how the mind works and how it shapes our reality can bring it to a point where we can do things like fulfill our dreams just by even changing our thought process and stuff like that. Okay. And so I'm going to read to you the article that I wrote for you all. And then I'm going to provide a link in the chat that you can download the first week's homework. Okay. And also I'm going to be printing it out here for you all to have here. Okay. So one moment here. Okay. So I'm printing this up. Yes, it's printing there. Once it's through, I'll pass it out to you all. Okay. So I'm going to read the article first, and so that everyone can have an understanding of what's taking place here. Okay. If I need to slow down or anything like that, let me know. I'm going to try to not go really fast. So let me know here. Okay, this article I wrote for you all, of course, is The Architecture of Belief, How Your Mind Shapes Reality. Right now, as I'm reading this, your brain is running thousands of programs you never consciously installed. You're breathing without thinking about it. Your heart beats automatically. You interpret these symbols as language instantaneously. And beneath all of this, deeper still runs the software that determines how you see yourself, what opportunities you notice, and which actions feel possible or impossible. Now think about this, right? All of us could be looking at a scenario, a situation, and we all can get something different out of it. We all could literally see something different. There could be, let's say, an opportunity in front of us. There are some here who will not see that opportunity. There are some here who will. Think about it. All of our lives, every day, there's opportunities that are happening. But unfortunately, some of us just don't see it. We may want to see it though, but there's something a bit maybe off with our view of things that make it so that we just unable to see it. So sometimes that's when you may have a friend join you in something, right? Or a family member, right? And they may see like, oh, it's right there. You like, and then once they show it, you do see it. Then you're like, yeah, I see it now. Why didn't I see it before? It's literally right there in front of me. Why didn't I see it? You know what I'm saying? So because our mind shapes reality, and in this, I'm trying to show you all how you can see it. You're not going to be able to see literally every single thing every single time. It's because we're only one being. The more people you have around you going toward that same purpose, you'll be able to pick up more, right? But we're all only one being, right? So this deeper layer, hold on a second, David. This deeper layer, your belief system, is the invisible architecture of your life. The ancient Hermetic text, the Kabbalion, stated, as within, so without. Okay, let's see. Thank you. So as within, so as with us, so without. The Buddhists say we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. It should have been 3 pages there. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So the ancient, okay, so the Buddhists say we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. Modern neuroscience now confirms what mystics have known for millennia. Your internal world shapes your external experience in measurable, predictable ways. This isn't just metaphysics or wishful thinking. It's psychology. And once you understand how it works, you can deliberately rebuild the architecture. So hopefully those who are listening, you do have pen and paper. Even though you're going to get some of this in physical form so you can review, some of it you're not. So just those things that stick out to you, just make sure you write it down. So part one is the subconscious mind, your hidden autopilot. What science shows your conscious mind, the part of you reading these words that, because again, I'm giving you this document, controls roughly 5% of your daily behavior. Okay. The conscious mind, approximately 5% of your daily behavior. The other 95% runs on autopilot, governed by your subconscious mind. Think about the last time you drove home from work. You can remember every turn, every stoplight, every lane change. Probably not. Your conscious mind was thinking about dinner or tomorrow's meeting while your subconscious handled the driving, because you did it so many times that you don't have to have your conscious mind looking at it anymore. I guarantee some of you may have been even looking at your phone these days, right? Where you look at your phone and you're doing things and you can't even remember you consciously even looking at the road, but you got home perfectly with no issue at all. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so peep this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is efficiency. Okay, your brain automates repeated tasks so your conscious mind can focus elsewhere. But here's the problem. Your subconscious doesn't just automate physical tasks. It also automates your beliefs about yourself, your worthiness, your capabilities, and what's possible for you. This is what the mystics knew. The concept of a subconscious or unconscious mind appears throughout esoteric traditions, though under different names. In Hermetic philosophy, the higher self and lower self, the divine consciousness versus the automated personality programmed by material experience or existence. The Kabbalah, something called the Nephesh, which is the animal soul, operates automatically based on habit and instinct, while the Neshama, which is also called the divine soul, represents consciousness, awareness, and choice. In Hindu Vedanta, the distinction between Atman, which is the true self-consciousness, and Maya, which is illusion created by conditioned mind. In Gnostic Christianity, the sleeping humanity versus the awakened one. Now, of course, many of these are terms that have made it into the conscious community, but that people use interchangeably, right? Higher self, lower self, right? Maybe the animal mind, okay, or the animal self, or the divine self, okay. So again, in the Gnostic Christianity, the sleeping humanity versus the awakened one. We talk about being awakened, right? Those who recognize they are operating from programmed beliefs rather than direct knowing. These traditions weren't speaking metaphorically. They recognized that humans operate primarily from unconscious patterns, and spiritual development meant waking up to examine, to change these patterns. The modern psychological concept of the subconscious was formalized by Pierre Janet and Sigmund Freud in the late 1800s, but they were describing something humanity had observed for thousands of years prior. Okay? Think about it. I'm going to give you something right here. One of the hardest things to get past, especially if it's negative, is something that's been programmed into you when you were a child. Okay, so children are like an open book to receive programming. Okay, and you can program them whatever way that you choose. Okay, and so especially if the programming has some negative connotations added, like for example, we know that Disney, for example, even though it may have been some, we're talking about the old Disney cartoons and stuff like that, right? It may have been some things in those Disney cartoons and things that conveyed something of a deep principle that a person should know. In the background, as you're looking at the background of this cartoon, there's a penis that has been drawn there as a tree that some pedo, right, put there, and the scene goes by kind of quick so that you don't see it, but your subconscious mind peeped that. And these things now is embedded in this child's mind so that now it may not blossom to anything, but also it may blossom into something now too. You know what I'm saying? And you're wondering why a child, and of course, it's not just penises, it's vaginas, it's breasts, all kind of stuff that's put embedded in these things purposely because they're trying to contaminate. Okay. And so, and then you see later on children, you see later on, even teenagers and adults acting out in a certain way, and a person just like wants to blame them and treat them as trash when really it was the trash that they were consuming that's part of the greater society. You know what I'm saying? That was purposely given to them, and we've all been, you can say, victim to that. Okay. So let me continue on here. Before age 7, so your childhood is the installation period. Before age 7, your brain operates primarily in the theta brainwave states, the same state adults experience during hypnosis or deep meditation. So children are automatically in that state. Okay. In this state, you are highly suggestible, absorbing information from your environment without critical filtering. Okay. A child doesn't know they shouldn't necessarily do this or do that unless it hurts them. Okay. Directly hurts them, like touching fire. You didn't choose your earliest beliefs, you absorbed them. So an example, Sarah grows up in a household where her parents constantly argue about money. She hears phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, and rich people are greedy. These statements, paired with the emotional intensity of the parents' stress, become deeply encoded. By age 8, Sarah's subconscious has installed the program, money equals stress, scarcity, and moral corruption. Now Sarah is 32. Consciously, she wants financial abundance. She reads books, she sets goals, she works harder, but her subconscious runs a different program. She's unconsciously, she feels anxious when her bank account grows. Again, why would you feel anxious when your bank account grows? It deals with, again, what was installed when she was a child. So she feels, because money equals stress from her parents arguing and everything, right? So she feels anxious when her bank account grows. Sabotages opportunities. This is self-sabotage. Sabotages opportunities that would increase income. Avoiding moral corruption she associates with wealth, because wealth is it was been associated with greed and negative things, right? So when it comes to this opportunity that may actually help her and bring her to that level that she's been dreaming of, she self-sabotages herself. How many of us have self-sabotaged ourselves in our life? And the reason why you may have self-sabotaged yourself may have nothing actually to do with your true self. Because your true self is what brought about the opportunity to say in the first place. But that overreaching self sabotaged it. He notices every financial setback, but dismisses every financial success, which is confirmation bias, right? So Sarah isn't lazy or broken. She's running childhood programming that conflicts with her adult goals. Now let's get into the esoteric understanding of karma and conditioning. Eastern philosophy calls the samskara mental impressions or conditionings that create automatic reactions. In Buddhist psychology, these conditioned patterns, which is the sankharas, are the source of suffering because they cause you to react automatically rather than respond consciously. The Hermetic principle of cause and effect states every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. People like to operate in this world like that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but anyway, your childhood programming, the cause creates your adult patterns, the effect, until you consciously intervene. And some of these homework assignments that you're going to get, so on and so forth, deal with that. Okay, it deals with we're never too young or too old to implement the things you're going to get today. Okay, and some of what you're going to get deals with noticing patterns and then consciously changing it. Okay, The mystical traditions didn't call this healing your inner child or reprogramming limiting beliefs. They called it awakening, liberation, or gnosis, because, but they meant the same thing, recognizing your conditioned patterns and choosing new ones. The perception filter, how beliefs shape what we see. There's something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. At the base of your brain stem sits a small bundle of neurons called the reticular activating system. This is your brain's gatekeeper, filtering the approximately 11 million bits of sensory information hitting you every second down to about 40, 50 bits that reach conscious awareness. So there's stimuli happening around us, all of us right now, tons of it. Again, approximately 11 billion bits. And so especially when you go out, now in here, it wouldn't be 11 million, but especially if we go out there and we're just walking down the street, now it's about 11 million, you know what I'm saying? Because cars are going by, we're hearing sounds, and maybe a child over there talking, some adults over there talking, beeping of horns, our own thoughts of what we're thinking. And so all these things are happening. And the gatekeeper is filtering it and providing to our conscious mind what we have programmed for it to consciously accept. Okay, but just think about it. Because I mentioned 11 million bits, that goes into, again, if it's 11 million bits of information happening, now this information that's hitting us is the same 11 million that's hitting, let's say, Nate right there, or hitting Miss Blair, okay, or hitting Chris. Same 11 million, but we're all filtering it differently based on our level of awareness and so forth. Okay. How does your RAS, again, reticular activating system, decide what's important? Your beliefs are what program it. So, example from everyday life. Two people, Mark and Jennifer, walk into the same networking event. Mark's belief, I never get chosen for opportunities. People don't notice me. So Mark's RAS programming, flag evidence of being overlooked, filter out evidence of being noticed. Okay, flag evidence of being overlooked, filter out evidence of being noticed. Okay, so in Mark's case, he's the type of person that only notices pretty much the negative, right? So he notices that the three people who don't make eye contact. He misses the two who smiled at him. When someone asks his opinion, he dismisses it as politeness. He leaves thinking, see, same story. Nobody cares what I have to say. Jennifer's belief, I create value in every interaction. People are drawn to authentic confidence. That was her kind of affirmation. And of course, we worked on, especially in our different superhuman events, we worked on affirmations and stuff, right? Okay. So Jennifer's RAS programming, flag opportunities for connection, notice positive responses, recognize moments to contribute. So Jennifer's experience, she notices the two people who smiled. She approaches them. She shares a useful insight. Someone asks for her contact information. She leaves thinking, great event, met two solid connections. Same room, same people, different realities, because different beliefs program different filters. I noticed that there's many people of all races and all kinds who have all types of positive and negative filters. Okay. Since the audience here is mostly of brown people, right? We can say that brown people have a certain kind of negative connotation that has been purposely given to them that they didn't choose themselves, but they have accepted it. Okay. Based on some experience, some like there are black people. Like there was one of our superhuman events when we was in Sacramento, for example. There was a woman who she got up. She was angry. She right. And even personally, in conversations, her trigger was anything of the white race spoken. Anything, she had a trigger. Now, I guarantee you, because just about every person, many of you know that consultations with people from all over the world, white people, black people, Mexicans, everybody, right? And the people who tend to feel that way, when I do an examination of them and analyze their belief system, there have been more people in their life that were of their race that have treated them negatively. Okay, then this other race. Yes, so it's kind of like their Ross, right? That one white person over there who was racist to me, I'm gonna notice that. But the 99 black folks that gate kept me, that didn't give me opportunities, even though I was qualified for it, that talk back behind my back, but supposedly are friends. I'm going to ignore all of those people though, and just look at the one white person who says something negative about me, but also ignore the white people who did give me opportunity though too. They don't count. You get what I'm saying? And there's also so-called white people that do the same thing, right? Some of them haven't even met a black person in their whole damn life. We're in Chicago, right? Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the United States. Okay, even though there's in this neighborhood, in all neighborhoods, you will find different races, some higher degree, some lower degree. But even though that's the case, you will find, for example, white people. They walk around black folks. They doctor may be black, but yeah, every time they come across a black person, they hold their purse and act like they never seen a black person in their life. You know what I'm saying? That's their programming. That's their Ross program. So it's happening on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And when we analyze this, it's so interesting when we analyze it and we take the time to see what's really going on. And as we see what's really going on, because again, being superhuman is about taking responsibility as well for your reality, right? My main thing to say to you all is don't internalize any of it. You know what I'm saying? Just observe it for what it is, take note of it, and ideally, if you can, adjust and make the situation work for you. Okay? So, the Hermetic principle, all is mind. The first Hermetic principle states the all is mind, the universe is mental. This is often misinterpreted as you create physical reality with your thoughts. We hear a lot of that kind of stuff. That is not what it means, at least not directly. What it means is your mind creates your experience reality by filtering and interpreting the objective world. Okay? The objective world is what we actually are seeing and feeling around us and everything else. 10 people experience 10 different realities at the same event because each filters through different beliefs. You don't create the room with your mind. You create which room you experience, which aspects you notice, how you interpret others' behaviors, what opportunities you see or miss. The Kabbalistic concept of the Tikkun, Tikun, which deals with rectification, involves correcting your perception, seeing reality clearly, rather than through the distortion of conditioned beliefs. And of course, that's what we've been doing for over 10 years now with the superhuman classes. Each one, we question and we challenge ourselves to see things for what they are. And that's been going on. For those who this is the first time you are experiencing superhuman, we've in different ways, none of them have been overall the same. We've been doing this for about 11 years now. Okay. So the mystical goal isn't to change external reality through mental force. You're not trying to force it. It's to change your perception so you see and engage with reality accurately. And kind of almost like on your terms. Okay, like how that affirmation that Jennifer stated, which was, I'm going back to what she said. I create value in every interaction. People are drawn to authentic confidence. Okay. So, one moment here. All right. So, the next one is the self-fulfilling prophecy loop. Your beliefs don't change what you notice. They change what you do, which changes what happens, which reinforces your beliefs. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Your beliefs don't change what you notice. They change what you do, which changes what happens, which reinforces your beliefs. An example, this person is named David. David's belief. I'm awkward in social situations. And it's not a reflection on you, David, here. Okay, so I'm awkward in social situations. Step 1, perception. David attends a party. His Ross flags every awkward moment, filters out smooth interactions. He sees evidence of his awkwardness. Step 2, emotion. Belief triggers anxiety. Anxiety creates physical tension, forced smiling, nervous laughter. Step 3, behavior. Anxiety-driven behavior actually creates awkwardness that wasn't there before. So he created his own awkwardness by what he was perceiving, by what he thought what he perceived, which dealt with his belief. So his behavior now is awkward. Okay. He interprets someone laughs at the wrong moment, spills his drink. So step 4, the outcome. All right. People react to the genuine awkwardness his anxiety created based on his belief. Reinforcement. David thinks, see, I knew it. I'm awkward. So now the belief strengthens. You see how that works? This is literally what we do. It's self-sabotage. This is what we do. Okay. And so what I'm showing you here is a way to literally change that. Literally change it. Okay. And that's what being superhuman is about, to understand and take responsibility. The fact that we can change. We are beings supposedly, right, created in a divine image and likeness of our creator. Supposedly. So either that's true or that's not. So it's only reality. The truth is either one or the other. It's either that's true or it's not. We are either created in the divine likeness and image of our creator, right? And so if that's true, then we have the power to change. So no matter how young or old we are, we can change and make things better a certain way. Or number 2, we are not in the image or likeness. We don't have this divine power, and we're just stuck. I guarantee in most of our lives, we have seen at least one example of someone moving past that. So that means that that's more evidence toward we do have the ability to change. Yes, we do. You know what I'm saying? Even if we've seen one time happening, because if we didn't have ability, we didn't even see that one time, right? So let's move forward. So the belief became a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because David attracted awkwardness metaphysically, but because his belief changed his behavior, which changed the outcome. Now consider the same situation with a different belief. This person named, let's see here. So John's belief. I'm genuinely interested in people, and that makes conversations flow naturally. Step 1, perception. John attends the same party. His Ross flags moments of connection, people laughing at his jokes, engaged body language, genuine interest in his questions. Step 2, emotion. Belief triggers curiosity and calm. Calm creates relaxed body language, genuine smiling, present attention. Step 3, behavior. Relaxed behavior creates actual social ease. He asks good questions, listens fully, responds naturally. Step 4, outcome. People enjoy the connection because he's being genuine. Conversations flow. Someone suggests meeting for coffee. Step 5, reinforcement. John thinks, nice people at this party. The belief strengthens. So now you create the feedback loop. It's happening again, and it keeps happening again. You know what I'm saying? So whether the feedback loop is positive or negative, it just keeps. We loop on it. We loop on it. So if you're in a negative loop, you ideally you got to do a hard stop. And we'll get into these kind of things, right? I'm not going to leave everybody. We're going to leave here today fully in tune, where now nothing's a mystery, and you have the literal tool or tools to do whatever you want in life. Okay. So the belief created the experience, not magically, but psychologically and through behavior. Okay. We don't need magic. Magic is real, but we don't need it for this. Okay. The alchemical perspective, transforming lead into gold. Medieval alchemists weren't just trying to transform physical lead into gold, though some literally were. The deeper teaching was about transforming the base metal of unconscious, reactive patterns into gold of conscious, chosen responses. The alchemical process of solve et coagula, maybe pronouncing this wrong, dissolve and coagulate, describes this perfectly. Solve, remember this is an alchemical, this is from the alchemical perspective, right? So that's an alchemical way of saying it, right? So solve, dissolve the old pattern by bringing it to conscious awareness. So being aware of what negative thing you're doing, okay? Be fully aware of it, okay? No BS, no nonsense. Hey, what happened? This happened. Be clear cut of it. Now, the cogagula, you want to solidify a new pattern through intentional repetition. Now, at first, when you're doing intentional repetition, it's going to seem tedious at first. But as you continue to do it, you're forcing this state to happen, okay? Just think about it. We could look at it from a simple perspective. How many people were completely unruly, completely unorganized, who went to the military and it forced them to be organized? You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't going to accept you unless you were. You know what I'm saying? Literally, you had to do it. They have a bona fide, proven way of getting people to be from the unorganized state to the organized state. Whether it be waking up in the morning at a certain time in the morning, being super punctual, it's been proven. Okay? And that's what, and we know they're not hitting you with any high level metaphysics per se. It's literally just physical changes, and you're gonna do it, and that's just that, right? And it happens, right? So the Philosopher's Stone, the legendary substance that transforms lead to gold, is consciousness itself, the ability to observe your patterns and choose new ones. Now, the next one here deals with neuroplasticity, the scientific proof